Hi everyone, and welcome to this video tutorial. In this clip, we are going to be covering Lab 12, Task 3, which is creating a customization script. Now, why would we do something like this? We already have a template, and one of the powerful things that we can do in a virtual environment is very rapidly create a virtual machine by deploying out a template. Even better, we can customize the deployment with a script so that we don't have to answer all of those prompts that come up when we're going through and installing the operating system. So in the case of Windows, what we do is basically create this script, which when we deploy the template, if we tell it to use a customization script, we'll run sysprep and then use all that information in the template to fill in all the blanks of the installation that the installer needs to complete. Okay, so let's get started. I'm already on the home screen in Virtual Center Server. I'm going to pick on Customization Manager. And that's going to come up and show me that I have basically nothing here. So we're going to create a new script. So I'm going to say, okay, let's create a new specification. And that's going to start up our typical wizard that we're going to go through. So we need to specify whether this is going to be Windows or Linux so that the script is formatted correctly. In our case, Windows, so that's good. And we can also say use a custom sysprep answer file. Now, this is a little bit more flexible than what we even see in vSphere. It's totally possible in the Windows environment to create a custom sysprep file, which will have a lot more functionality and a lot wider range of customization than what VMware included. So if we need that high level of customization, we can create a script outside of the vSphere environment and then import it here. Now, we're not going to do that, but just be aware that that is possible to do. Now, our name, this is going to be my name. Make sure I spell this right. And then we can go through and actually specify the properties. Excuse me, over here in the left-hand side are all the different things that we can specify. So I'm going to come through and say the name. This is going to be VMware student, and then organization is VMware training. The computer name, we can either give a specific name or something that's actually very cool is we can say use the VM name, and that's something we do a lot. Remember before we said best practice is the VM name and the host name should match. So I can do that very easily simply by selecting that option. Windows license, to make sure I put the license key in here. So let's see if I can type this correctly and not have a problem. So do a quick check on this. KF9, ERBW8, for KMYP, FKWYR. Okay, I think I've got that right. We'll try it. Password. What do we want the admin password to be? So we're going to use the same password that we have been using. Be aware that this particular password is going to be not settable for anything after Server 2003. So this is basically Server 2003 and prior. This is going to work for. Okay, I'm going to set the time zone to Eastern Standard Time. So that's going to be GMT -5. That guy there. Next thing, we're on once. We don't need to do that. Configure the network, we're going to leave it as standard, which means it's going to be using DHCP to get its IP configuration. I'm going to leave this in a work group, although I could join an Active Directory domain if we want to do that, as we can see down below here. And I'm going to want to generate a new SID. This is going to be important because if we get duplicate SIDs on the network, it can cause all sorts of grief with respect to access control on our resources and also authentication into those virtual machines. Okay. And we're basically set to go. I will say finish. When this is done, we're going to see here is my customization script. It's for Windows. We can see when it was last modified. And we do have the ability here to go in and edit this at any time that we want if we need to make any changes. So that's basically it for creating the customization script. That's the end of this video clip. Hopefully it was helpful, and we'll see you next time.